You wanted to know how painful it actually is when you get an epidural. And a lot of people have a huge fear of needles. In fact, I always tell my patients who tell me that I would be worried about you if you weren't afraid of needles. And a lot of people hear myths about the epidural needle and they say it's this big, but it's kind of like fishing. You know, someone will say that about the size of the fish they caught when really it was this big. The needle is big, it is large, but there's a good reason for that, and it doesn't actually go as far into your back as most people think. It actually goes in about that far for most people, and you don't feel that. What you actually feel is the part when they numb your skin in preparation for the bigger needle. And the numbing needle is smaller than the needle that's used when you get like a flu shot or something. So what you actually feel is like I was taking my fingernails and pinching your lower back. It stings for a few seconds, but then after that, it's just like I'm pushing on your back with my fingers. It just feels like weird pressure. I think it's kind of like going to the dentist and having a cavity filled, if you've ever done that before. The numbing shot hurts, but just for a couple of seconds. And then after that, your face starts to feel weird and you see weird tools going in your mouth. You hear the sounds. You don't like the idea of what's going on, but it's tolerable. That's just like an epidural. You feel the numbing shot for a couple of seconds and then you feel weird pressure on your back. You don't like the idea of what's going on, but it's okay. You can deal with it, especially if you've been enduring very intense contractions. I always know when my patients have been having really intense contractions because then when they get the epidural, all they're thinking about is the fact that they're going to get relief. They don't care about whether it hurts or not because the contractions are way worse. An initial dose of medication will be given into the epidural space to get you comfortable, and it usually takes about 15 or 20 minutes to set up. And you'll start to feel your feet get warm and tingly, and the sensation moves up your legs, and then you start to feel numb. Usually the intensity of the contractions persists for 10 or 15 minutes after being dosed, but they start to get shorter. And then eventually the intensity goes away and all you feel is pressure associated with contractions instead of pain. And it's fantastic. So epidurals are definitely an option that you have when you go to the hospital. Talk with your nurses and doctor if you have more questions about it. And if you have more questions in the future for me, please feel free to ask them on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Intermountain Moms, and recommend us to your friends and family too.